Hello there everyone, and welcome to a new review on the channel. Today we're looking at Invisible Card by Vogt. Before we roll the intro, please like and subscribe, even leave a comment. It would help me know if I helped you make a better purchase for your magic products, and it would greatly help me just to be assured that I am doing a good job. So if you've done that, let's roll the intro and get into the effect. Perfect. So now that you've rolled the intro, you're interested in seeing what Invisible Card is. While explaining what Invisible Card is, I might as well just show you a little bit what the effect is. So essentially, I'll put my hand just like this straight, so you don't think I'm cheating. And I want you to think of, you have an imaginary deck. And in that deck, you have number cards and chord cards. Which ones do you want to take out? You want to take out the number cards? Perfect. So take out all of the number cards from the deck and only remain with the chord cards. Now that you have the chord cards, you have the kings, the jack, and the queens. Which one of these do you want to keep? You want to keep the kings, so you want to remove the jack and the queens, correct? Okay, so now you have the red kings and the black kings. Which ones do you want to keep? You want to keep the red? Perfect. So you want to remove the blacks. Are you sure? You can change your mind. You're sure you want to keep the reds. Perfect. So now you have the hearts and the diamonds. Which one do you want? The king of hearts or the king of diamonds? The king of diamonds. From the beginning, I've had my hand in full view. Inside, one folded up playing card. You could have named any card, correct? And you decide to go for what again? The king of diamonds? Right here, the king of diamonds. So that is in turn the effect that you get with Invisible Cards. So that is the effect. And by doing that, I don't have to explain to you what it is because you kind of got the performance and you understand what it is. It's essentially a card that's able to predict any of the chord cards, essentially. So now where do you buy this and how much does it cost? This costs $49.95 US and is available through Theory 11. Currently it's sold at other shops, but is mostly sold out. But at the moment, I bought mine from Theory 11, so that's where I would suggest you buy yours as well. So first of all, what do you get when you purchase this? You get a small little box. Inside is going to be your invisible card that I just showed you. Apart from that, you're going to get a link to the instructional video, which is well shot by Vogt. It's not recent, so it's been shot a few years ago, so of course Vogt doesn't look the same or anything like that, and he probably has updates on this trick itself. But we're getting the version from a few years ago, and apart from that, on the instructional video, he explains how he made it. He explains routines, how to use it, how to take care of it, how to not damage it, how to take out smudges if it were to occur, and that's pretty much it. So the contents that you get are those. And in my case, the card that I got, I know this is an issue that a lot of people have raised in Penguin Magic and Magic forums, even on the Theory 11 site, is that some gimmicks aren't as good as others. So some gimmicks just aren't as well made as some others. And in my case, I think I've had that. But what I did is I took every single possible position that the card can have, and I put it under a few of my big school books, which are quite hefty, and I let it overnight for a few days, flatten out all sides, every possible angle, and now the gimmick is a little bit better. There's still some issues with it. It does feel a little bit rusty, but yeah, that's what I wanted to say in regards to that. So what is the difficulty of the effect? So the difficulty of the effect is essentially in patter, so you have to say only one special line for magicians. From when you saw my presentation, you know that classic line. And apart from that, you do have to learn how to manipulate the gimmick and how to not look at your hands when you're using it. So it does use something that many people know, so like a code that you're familiar with, but you're gonna have to learn that, and you're gonna have to learn to navigate that like a little book. This is like a little book. You're gonna have to navigate through the little book without actually looking down at your hands, because you don't want to look at the card while you're doing the move. You want to keep it straight and talk to the audience while you're doing that. So essentially, I'd say that all in all, this is intermediate level just because of that and because of what I'm going to talk afterwards with the angles and everything like that. I do think that this is not something that a beginner would do, but I do think that intermediate to more advanced, this is something that you would easily be able to do. So now let's talk about is this practical and what are the angles. So about practicality, it is only one card. You only have to carry around with you one card to do the effect, and that's it. So that's pretty much it regarding practicality. You carry the card, and that fits in your pocket or in your wallet. You even get a small compartment where you can put your wallet for it to stay safe. And yeah, it's practical to carry around, and it's practical to do. It's easy. You don't need any extra props. You just need that card by itself, and that's it. However, there are some angle issues because the card is a little bit thick. As I said, it's similar to a book, so you're getting a card book, and there are some angle issues with certain reveals where the card is going to be more thick on one side and on the other. You're going to have to hide, the angle of the card. So you're going to have to keep that in mind when you perform this, because there are going to be some angle problems in the way you handle the card, and this is not something that's inspectable. So you do it, and as Blake Vogt says, you take it back and you put it in your pocket, and that's it. So you're not going to be able to hand this out or anything like that. If you want, if you really want to take the extra mile and you do this, in a close-up or parlor situation, you can have your deck and then switch the card off from the deck. So do like a small switch if that's really, really what you desire. But I don't think that's necessary. You can just do it as is. And I doubt anyone is going to ask to inspect it. It could be, but again, it's your prop, and I'm sure that you're able to handle that situation. Now, let's talk about where do you perform this? So where would you perform invisible card? So this, in my opinion, works everywhere. This would work currently on Zoom shows. It would work close up, taking in mind you do keep a small distance from your spectator. You don't want to be super, super close to their face because they're going to see the thickness of the card. It works in walk around, it works in restaurant, it works in parlor, it could work on stage if you have a camera to zoom in on the card when you reveal it. Just so you guys know, the reason I bought this is because I do one routine from Your Mind is Still My Playground by Vincent Edan. And in that routine, you are limited to only one possible court card. So I wanted to kind of, expand that routine and that presentation that I really, really like from him. And instead of being closed to only one card, to have, the possibility of all cards. So that's essentially why I bought it. And I do that only on my parlor shows. I don't do that walk around, so I do that only on my parlor shows as a small intro, to get confidence, to boost myself, to get people to gauge, how they're going to interact with me throughout the night. And this is the routine that I use. An invisible card is what's going to fit the slot in that routine to let me be able to have, less word persuasion to occur during the effect. So apart from that, I think that you're able to perform this pretty much everywhere. Now, I just want to give you a small consensus of everything that's been mentioned for you to understand why I give this product the grade that I do. So first, I'll go with some positives. So this is something that I'm going to use to replace the gimmick in the Vincent Hidden book. It is well explained. It is an interesting effect. It is something that, is impossible to build by yourself. So it is, you're going to have to buy this because building this yourself must be an absolute agony. And it is pretty straightforward and a good mentalism / magic effect. However, on the other hand, the gimmick that I did receive is a little bit worn down. As I said, I had to fold it. When I got it from the package, it was absolutely unusable. It looked like it was made in 2 minutes, scrapped and thrown in my package. But by flattening it out and taking care of it and making sure that everything is flat, I did manage to restore it to how it should have been. Apart from that, it is not inspectable, so no one's going to be able to touch your card. It is not inspectable whatsoever, so you're going to do this effect, put it in your pocket, and that's pretty much it with what you have in regards to this card. And the only other negative that I can say is that if you really don't take care of this, any small dent or any small cut in the card or anything like that could damage it, and you're going to have to buy refills, which are $25 per refill. So keep that in mind. Essentially, now that you've understood everything that I had to say, I think it's time for me to offer my final verdict. So what I give this effect on 10 is an 8 on 10. It's a good product, but I just, the fact that I had such a scare when I opened it and my card was so badly assembled and so badly done, and it felt like it was just thrown there, left a really bad impression. The fact that I had to work so hard for 2 or 3 days to flatten the card to make sure that everything is perfect, and just for it to be usable, even to practice, was a little bit of a letdown. And the fact that if you want to perform this, really close up, I do think that this will maybe raise a little bit suspicions because it's very, very thick. So I want you to keep all of that in mind. And with that said, I want to thank everyone for watching and see everyone in my next review. Bye-bye.